Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, January 29th, 2021. We're in the final hour of the trading day, we're in the final day of the trading week, and we are in the final day of the trading month. How's that for the trifecta? Back to last hour of the trading day, as you know, that is my preferred time to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what the large financial institutions are doing in the last hour, in particular in the last few minutes. During the day, you have the algorithms and the day traders. They are the ones that are in control of the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they take control away from the day traders and the algorithms, and they're dealing with the most money. They're dealing with very smart people, best technology, best information, and I believe following what they're doing at the end of the day in the long run is an edge in your trading system. So thank you all for coming today. I really do appreciate it. It's always nice to see everyone. I'm very grateful that we have such a great group here, and so many of you contribute to the channel in so many ways. So thank you for all the work and the calories that you burn to help make this a better podcast. So, all right. Well, currently the Dow Jones is down 481 points, down 1.58%. The NASDAQ is down 217 points, down 1.64, and the S&P is down 55.39, down 1.47. Amazingly enough, we are well off of the lows. I think I saw the Dow at 700 down. So we've had quite a change of pace here in the last week, haven't we? For so long, it was green, 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 green. And now it's been kind of red with the green day thrown in there every once in a while as well. So here is the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have one day trade today on Apple that I will share with you. After that, we are going to go over to the board and take a look at your positions today. As I'm looking over there, I see a couple green, not a lot of green, obviously on a big down day. So we'll go through and we'll see how you are doing with those trades and how you're managing them. After that, I'm going to talk a little bit about trader psychology about halfway through the podcast. Most important skill you can ever develop in trading is not finding trend lines, not looking entries, exits. It's important, but really the key important ingredient and skill that you must learn in trading is the ability to control your emotions. And so if you find yourself breaking your plan, you have some work to do on yourself if you want to excel as a trader. All right. So we're going to talk about that. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a trade. First, confluence or combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. That's very important. Number 2, I have to have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1. So if I'm risking $100, I have to be able to make 200 or more to the upside. And then number 3, always take a few quiet moments before you hit that buy button and ask yourself, do I really need to buy this position? Is it really a great position? Does it jumping off the screen at me, or am I just in the habit of buying something every day and that's why I'm doing it, right? Ask yourself that question, be honest with yourself. And if the answer is no, then just pass on the trade. Also consider, do I already have positions in this industry? Do I really need to add more risk to that? Do I need more correlation? And then also try to go ahead and make sure that you position size based upon the current volatility. Recently, the volatility has increased dramatically. So therefore, you should reduce your position size to keep everything equal. I take my maximum allowed loss. Good rule of thumb is 1% of your total capital. Divide that by the value of the 2 ATR. That will figure it all out for you magically. All right, so I do have some end of day candidates. I am going to go through them as we get close to the close, go through them with a fine-tooth comb, look for the very, very best one, considering all the 3 requirements that I just mentioned. And if I do find something, I will purchase it before the close of the market. If I don't, then I won't. right? And then after the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at prior to the market closing, just go ahead and put them in the chat, put an asterisk or emoji by it. I'll do my very best to get to it before the close of the market. And then lastly, if you have any new entries or exits for me today that you want me to update on the board, if you could please be so kind to wait till the end of the day before you let me know what they are. That way the market's closed, I'm done teaching, I'm done trading, pressure is off, and then we can get to that. Okay? So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Hang tight, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let us see who is here today. Let me make sure my microphone's on. Okay, Kamal is here. Hey, buddy, good chatting with you today. Kamal and I chat during the day, take a look at trades, ask each other's advice. It's good. I appreciate it, Kamal, and I appreciate also everything you do for the channel with this fantastic scanner that you have. Leva is here. Hello, Leva. Good to see you. Thank you for the email. Boy, that was an interesting email in what you were talking about. I won't mention it here, but that's fascinating. That really is. We're going to have to talk more about that. Quad is here. Happy Frenzy Friday, everyone. It definitely is a Frenzy Friday, Quad. Good to see you, buddy. Johan is here. Hello, Captain. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good evening in Hong Kong, and I hope you've been doing well. Dan is here. Happy Friday. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Gary is here. Hello, Greg and group. Good chatting with you, Gary, as well. Another crazy day, I would say. Dan says, as usual, Greg is going to smash it today. Let's do the same to the thumbs up button. Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure, Dan. I appreciate the confidence, but now the pressure's on. I will just do my best. How about that? But thanks for that, Dan, and good to see you. Jatin says, hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello, Jatin, good to see you. Miko is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you and the family are doing well. Frank is here. Hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Always nice to see you, Frank. Thank you so much. David says, hi, Greg and group. Hello, Mr. David. Good to see you. Frank says, I was fortunate enough to be holding a spec position in NVAX. Frank, what do you mean by spec position exactly? At 135. Oh, it's not showing today's bar yet. Oh, are you kidding me? Frank wins the prize for the biggest winner of the day for sure, up 66.11%. Let's everyone give Frank a hand. Holy hamburgers, Frank. Wow. I am so happy and proud of you. Very nice. But I'm still not sure what a spec position is. Okay. What am I doing? All right. Let's look at current positions. All right, so Timothy and myself did buy Coca-Cola about 9 days ago, so it's been kind of a long one. I bought it here at 48.52 with a rejection of the 200-day and rejection of the 30 RSI. Moved sideways, then had a nice move up, way back down, up again yesterday, took some profits. Today, looks like it's slightly above my entry, so it is a profitable trade. Came down, tested that 200-day moving average. Kamal and I were talking about this right when it was there, and I said it's holding, and it looks like it's bounced nicely. So anyway, so far up on the trade, very happy with that. Silver. All right, so Frank took a half position. Yas bought silver calls. Pat bought a position. That's Greg. That's me. I also bought a half a position yesterday with the 520 crossover. I bought it here at 24.71, gapped way up. I was fortunate enough to hit, you see 2 profit targets here, but it ran through this one. So both of them got filled right up there, which is pretty sweet. So, locked in profits, took off some of the profit. If it comes way back down, I've mitigated my loss by locking profits at a higher level. Closing below the open, which is not a great sign, but I will be keeping this today. And if it does come down significantly and keeps that 520 crossover, I will add my second half of the position. That was the idea. But it is up 1.05% today on a down day. Not too bad. Okay, overnight SPY trade, nothing to write home about, but I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know why. I bought it yesterday at 377.63. When I saw the open bar, I was like, I guess I got filled down here. But when I checked my transactions, I actually got filled at 375.57. I don't understand why. I mean, I'm glad. I'm not complaining. It was what is that, $1 higher? Yeah, it's over $1 higher, but I don't know, maybe there was dividends. I'm not sure. But regardless, I bought it at 377.63 and I sold it at 375.57. So nothing to write home about. Definitely a loss. So the overnight SPY trade's been a little squirrely the last week. And the month. It's about break even for the month, actually. So, but anyway, it's just one of my many tools, one of my many trades. I will be buying this again today at the close, holding it over the weekend. USO. All right. I'm sure everyone's tired about hearing about this trade since I've owned it for 2 months. But I did buy USO way down here at 30.97. Up 12.37%. I like to take trades on the daily. I like to trade them on the weekly. I like to take trades on the monthly. I actually even have a possible monthly trade today that I'm going to be taking because today's the last day. But I did take this trade on a deep dip buy under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third, and a V2. That's why I bought it. I've been in the trade for a couple months, but a little over 5% per month. So I am happy with that. Lastly, I had one little day trade today, but a good one. Let's take a look. Here we go. I was chatting with Kamal when we had this trade, and oops. Here was an under 30, over 30, and a V2, but it seemed chasey to me, so I didn't jump on it. A lot of times what will happen is when you have an under 30, over 30 V2, it will go up and then it will come back and it will test. Well, I waited. Instead of buying it at like 130, 117, I waited for a back test. I got filled at 130.77. A couple bars later, had a nice big up move, a big thrust up move. I sold half. Several bars later after that, had another big thrust up. I sold another half. And then 2 bars later, had another nice up thrust. So it was a good trade. I got in at 130.77, out at 131.41, out at 132.02, and out at 132.39. And then that was it. It went down. I felt like a genius. And then Kamal and I were looking at it right here. Didn't buy it there though. Guess I should have. Guess we should have, Kamal. All right, so that's it. That's it. Good day trade. The rest have been a little tough, especially on a day like today, but not too bad. All right, so now let's switch over to swing trades and look at Jackson bought Apple at 123. And Frank bought it at 111. So Frank bought at 111. Jackson bought at 123. Big move down on Apple the last few days. My gosh. 8%, over 8% down in the last week. That's a big move for Apple. But you know what I'm going to say, right? We are back in the value zone. Why do you want to go chasing up here? Wouldn't you rather buy it on sale here in the value zone? instead of up here at the third ATR channel where 92% of prices fail. And what happened? It failed, right? Buy in value, sell above value. Buy under value, sell back at value. Do not buy over value and get stopped out back in value, right? It just makes sense. Twitter. All right, so let's see. Quad says, congrats, Frank. Lovis74 has explanation points. Wow, how poetic. Oh, good one, Dan. That's good. That's a cool feeling. That's fantastic, buddy. Proud of you. Johan says, fantastic. Steve Burns says, I exited MA and BA earlier today. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming. As always, always nice to see you. Thank you so much for including me on your Friday list today. That's kind of you. And hope you have a good upcoming weekend. And what does Steve say here? Steve says, I exited MA and BABA earlier today. Okay, so I'm going to go through those in a minute when we take a look at the positions. But I believe, Steve, you're doing well with your SPY puts, right? And your double leveraged silver. So nice going there. Frank says, oh, here's Frank. Here's a poem. Be wary of the ties that bind. There's new things to learn. All traders will find. Trading must never become a grind. Though our patterns are defined, always work with an open mind. Man, I just don't know. I don't know how Frank can do this every day. And they're so good. I couldn't even do roses or red, violets or blue poems, let alone great poems like this. Be wary of the ties that bind. There's new things to learn. All traders will find. Trading must never become a grind. Though our patterns are defined, always work with an open mind. Bravo. Let's give Frank a hand. Let's give him two hands because it's so good. Wow. Kamal says, nice poem. Johnson says, hi, Greg. Hello, everyone. Hey, Johnson. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you were doing well, sir. All right, let's take a look at your positions now. Johan and Yas bought Twitter at 45.90. Nice, beautiful trade. They had a false breakout to the downside and a V1. Beautiful trades, just moved up. It was actually up earlier in the day and now down a little, but nicely up on the trade, just a little down on the day. Alibaba. All right, so Steve took Alibaba yesterday with the 1050 EMA cross. He took it at 260.42. It's currently 255.60. It's down just about 2%. And Steve mentioned that he got out earlier in the day. Okay, so I will take you off of that, Steve. All right, VIX. Pat bought VIX at 1667. I believe she sold half here with the rejection of the 50. And then look at this monster move. I hope Pat still has this. I really hope she's going to come in here and tell me that she still has this. This is up hugely. Is that a word? Hugely? Up another 2.88% today. So congratulations, Pat. MasterCard. Okay, Steve bought MasterCard at 326.09. It's currently 318.90. Let's see, did Steve say? Yeah, and Steve exited MasterCard earlier today as well. Okay. I am actually looking at buying MasterCard here today with this rejection of the 200-day moving average. And it gives a really good risk to reward ratio. So that's on my list to buy today, possibly at the end of the day. Kamal bought DKNG at 53.04. It's currently 54.42. It's down 3% today, but Kamal is still up on the trades. Congratulations. Shopify. Kamal bought Shopify at the low of day at 1081. Did it come down to 1081 again? Wow. To the penny. 1081. 1081. And bounced. How about that? That's impressive. Holy smokes. I mean, not even a penny off. Exactly. So they're buyers at that level. So Kamal's down a little bit on the day on the trade, but he is up net on the trade. Qs. All right. Frank has a 10% position of Qs at 284.60. It's currently 317.04. It is down 1.31% today. But again, look, we're back in the value zone. Just look in the past. Would the value zone have been a good place to buy here? Would have been a good place to buy here? Would it have been a good place to buy here? Would have been a good place to buy here? Is it a good place to buy here? I don't know. I have rules, right? I have to wait for a V1 or a V2, but I tell you what, I'd much rather just be buying here than up here at the third ATR channel. I mention this all the time, but everything feels good. Everything's exciting. The news is good when it's up here. But just keep in mind, 92% of the price time it fails here and comes back. Well, it's back now. Now it seems scary. Is it a good time to buy? I don't know, but I know it's better than before. CRM, Frank and Kamal, beautiful trade at 216.80 on CRM. Look at this beautiful trade. And it's up today. Wow. So congratulations, Kamal and Frank. JMIA, Karen with the big trade, 45.60. It's entry 57.98, up 2.71% today. So congratulations, Karen. Karen's had some monsters lately. NIO. Okay, this one's confusing to me, guys, because we have so many things going on. I know Frank bought at 46.16. That I know. Gary sold $57 puts expiring today. So it's 57.45. Gary likes to keep us in suspense with his trades. They come right down to the wire. So essentially, in the next 32 minutes, if NIO stays above 57, Gary will keep all the premium. So Gary likes to be dramatic with these with these options expiring. So let's all hope it closes above 57 for Gary's sake. And then he also sold NIO February 55 puts. So these are a little further out at 55 and it's at 57. So that will be interesting. Let us know, Gary. Fiverr. Johnson sold Fiverr puts February 19th, 190s. It's 211, so it's still above. It's still out of the money, which is good. Johnson's just trying to run out the clock here, but he would prefer that it would go up. Solely, Ramble, $9 on SOLY. Down a little bit today, 3%, but nicely up on the trade. Fastly is green. Johan, way to go, buddy. Johan in at 86.80. It's currently 109.79. Look at this great risk to reward ratio we had. Small risk, huge reward. That's what it's all about. AGQ, Steve bought AGQ with a 520 crossover yesterday at 50.57. Gary bought it as well. It's up a nice 2.23% today. Congratulations, Steve and Gary. Oh, I always forget this on this buy. Okay, so Gary bought puts expiring next Friday, 375s. Steve bought 375 puts. Johnson bought 375 puts. Buying a put is a bearish position. It's currently 372.70. So it is in the money. It does have intrinsic value. How much they're up or down on this, I'm not really sure because you have to factor in the time, but maybe one of you can tell us how you're doing. I would imagine that you were in the money on these. Teladoc green today. Okay, Frank bought all the way down here at 182. It's 264.23 and it is up today, which makes it feel even better, right, Frank? 31.26%. That is fantastic. Oh, what's Frank's NVAX? And Frank got in. We've got to highlight this one, right? Where did Frank go? Where did you go, Frank? 135. Oh my gosh. Wow, what a trade, Frank. Got to get this one up for sure. Way to go. Well, that's the winner of the day for sure. The winner of the week, I don't know. Maybe somebody had GameStop or something. I'm not sure. Where was I? Teladoc, we just looked at. Philip Morris. C-Quad, you're right back where you sold it anyway, right? You feel better about that? Oh, I need to take this off because Quad doesn't have it anymore. Okay. PLTR, Karen, another nice trade at 32.50. It's 35.72. Up a little bit today, nicely up on the trade. Google. Okay, we're going to take this one off the table because this expires today for Gary. He sold the 1640s. It's 18.50. So he's golden. This will expire worthless at the end of the day, which is exactly what Gary wants. So he'll make the money there. Congratulations, Gary, on all your great premium and option spread trades lately. AMC. Oh, Gary bought a put on AMC at $9 a strike price. Well, it expires in 19. It could be down there by then. Who knows, right? Wow, up 61%. Unreal. INEQ, Frank bought INEQ at $15.90. It's down 2.54% today. It's down on the trade, but Frank doesn't care because he made 64 or 65% on NVAC. At least that's how I would look at it. ITB, Jatson bought ITB at 58.01. It's currently 58.07. It's down today, but it is still up on the trade. Walmart. Man, this one's getting away from Yas. I don't know if he still has it. I hope he doesn't. But Yas bought at 147.51, and it has just gone down. So down on the day, down on the trade. Hopefully Yas is out of this. He just hasn't told me. Hopefully. Tesla. Jatson. Again, good move by selling 70% of his position before earnings. I'm glad. I think you can see some of the value in that now. Jatson bought it at $639.90. It's $798.98. It's down 4% today, but again, he sold it up here 70%. So way to go, and congratulations, Frank. Man, that's great. I have rarely experienced anything like that. That must be fun. Steve says, the Wall Street Bets Reddit group has targeted SLV for their next bull raid, and volume has exploded higher since they said in their group, I am in their group. Oh, are you really? Steve, do you think that something like silver can be squoze, being that it's, a more liquid product? It's a more liquid trading product than something like GameStop. I know it's not as liquid as gold, but still it's a major commodity. Do you think they'll be successful at that, Steve? Tracy, good to see you. I'm curious if anyone got in that GameStop huge upswing earlier. I did not. Did anybody else? Dan says, Steve, it's hard to follow them. I'm considering buying the leader's book and joining. Typo. It is hard to follow Wall Street Bets. I see. Tracy said, I saw it up 74% at one point today. Yeah, they had it was down about 74% yesterday and now back up. It's wild and crazy. I would really advise just staying away from it. And if you have to get in it for whatever reason, buy one share if you just have to do it, but I wouldn't even recommend one share. Frank says, I will now sell NVAX right here and now live. Oh, now I got to go back and redo it? Just kidding, Frank. Just kidding. All right, good. Well, let's get it off the board. Nice going. Right there. What a sweet place. Boom. Man, Frank's going to have a good weekend. Frank is going to have a good weekend. That's fantastic. Gary said, funny thing about AMC, the implied volatility is over 500 and even. So even with stocks being up, the option is right where I bought it. Yeah, because, what affects the price of an option? Time, the price, and volatility. And that's the major driver right now. Steve says SLV silver is a big volume ETF, much more difficult to squeeze without a big short interest. Also, they are not considering the futures trading in silver overnight. Yeah, I had somebody ask me about that yesterday, and they were excited, and I was like, I wouldn't get your hopes up. I don't, I actually said I'm going to ask Steve Burns tomorrow this question, but I just in my heart of hearts, maybe they can run it, but I don't think they can do what they did to GameStop. SLV has a short ratio is only 13%. Yeah, totally different game. Something that has a huge short position. Yeah, look at Tesla though. Tesla has a huge short position, and Tesla's gotten revved up, that's for sure, right? Tracy said, I didn't, just hope someone had. Yep. All right, what's the time? Let me check over here. All right, well, listen, speaking of Steve Burns, this is the time of the show where I like to talk about trader psychology. My favorite poster, of course, is our good friend Steve Burns, who is in the channel with us right now. Oh, this doesn't have. So you can find Steve at @SJosephBurns over on Twitter, and you can also follow him on the New Traders, Rich Traders over on Facebook. And, when Steve says something, when he posts something, we should all really listen. Let's see what Steve has to say. A trader needs the ability to rise above the outcome of any one trade and understand the flow of the markets to the point of making any single trading outcome, win or lose, and even drawdowns serve his long-term profitability equally well. So what does that mean? What it means to me is if you're trading a correct system, just the process of taking losses, having drawdowns, that's just part and parcel of a trading system that eventually will make money if it's back tested, if it has good trading principles, right? And you have to rise above getting, all upset about one particular trade. Just realize it's just part of the process for the long-term goal of what you're doing. Look at a casino. They don't win every hand. They don't win every throw of the dice. They don't win every roll of the roulette wheel. It's just the process. They go through that process 24 hours a day. Do you think they get all upset when somebody lost, if the house lost 10 hands in a row in blackjack? Of course not. Of course not. They know in the long run the outcome will work for them if they stick with the process, right? So winning, losing, drawdowns, it's fine. It's all just part of the game, and just get used to it, embrace it, and just don't get all upset about one trade. It's one of the next 1,000 trades. Now, I have a double header from Steve. Look at this, everybody. Here's Steve. Here he is at Twitter, @SJosephBurns. Look at this. Scientists invent bracelet that gives electric shock every time a person curses. How about that? I know a few people that would run the battery out on that thing pretty quick. But what I was thinking is what we need to do, we all need to get these bracelets, but instead of it shocks us when we swear, it shocks us if we don't follow our trading rules. How about that? I think it would work. Like, I'm being serious. I really do think Pavlov's dog and all that, I really think it would work. But isn't that interesting? So double header from Steve. Hey, hold on one sec. I think I'm going to head the FedEx guy off. I'm sorry. They just have a habit of just coming right here. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so what do we got? 136. All right. Let's get the charts back up there. Mount Doji is here. What is happening, my friend? Good to see you. Mount Doji says, yo. And ELYV2. No, actually, Mount Doji, it was a V1 yesterday. See? Yesterday, we went below the previous day's low and above. Did bounce right in the value zone. But, again, I always feel like the Scrooge of Christmas. But, it worked so far. But the better ones happen when you come into the value zone. You move sideways for a couple days, and then you have the value. Ones that just come right down to value and immediately trigger a V1 without any sideways motion, most of the time they bounce and then they come back down. Not all the time, just my experience. Mount Doji, how are you doing in your trading, bud? We haven't really gotten into that lately. It's been good to see you recently, but I'm just wondering, how are things with your trading? How are you doing? Okay. Should we take a look at today's candidates? Let's look at the indexes, by the way. So the Dow, and I talked about this. I was kind of mentioning this about a week ago, and I was like, there's all sorts of bearish divergences going on here in the market up here, where you have highs with higher MACD, you have higher highs in the price with lower MACD. RSI was rejecting the 70. And do you remember that? That stuff works. Obviously, look at the Dow. We have sliced right through the value zone, which is not good. We went from above value into value, closed below value. So I would either look for the Dow Jones to move lower, maybe down, looking to buy around here, or we can rally into the value zone. I wouldn't buy that rally. I'd wait for a pullback and then look for a higher low V1, V2. NASDAQ. Well, we are right in the value zone, right where if it comes down, it usually holds, just like here, right? So we're down in the value zone. We bounced off the -1 ATR channel, which is good. Is it enough for me just to buy here? No, but I'm just trying to point out that buying up here is pure momentum play. I prefer to wait for the reversion to the mean back into the value zone. I'd much rather buy it here and sell it when it goes back up. So, and then lastly, S&P. Yesterday I mentioned this. I think it was it on the S&P? But I mentioned, oh no, it was on the the SPY. So we'll look at the SPY. But yesterday, or the first big day, we had a huge down day on huge volume. Remember that? And then remember yesterday we had the rally, and I told you, I said, I do not trust this rally at all because it comes on such low volume. Well, I'm not always right with that, but that really stuck out in my head. I said, I just don't trust this rally because we came down on massive distribution. We rallied on anemic volume and then right back. There's more buying today. There's more volume today than yesterday because people bought this lower dip, but it is holding to 50. It is below the -1 ATR channel, but it is holding to 50. So interesting. All right. Budweiser. This is literally the first time I've ever looked at Budweiser stock in my life. But let's take a look. There is a good confluence that does not happen very often. This is something, excuse me, that I learned from Steve Burns. If you have a confluence of the price coming down to the 100-day moving average, which is the red line, at the same time you have a under 30, over 30, that is a really good high probability trade. Currently, And we are right there. The confluence is right there. Let's look at the bigger. Let's look at the bigger time frame. Monthly, we're back in the value zone. Nothing too exciting. Weekly, we are not in the value zone. That's a good place to buy, right? Even if you're just flat out buying on the weekly, that is a good place to buy. But on the daily, I love the weekly. I love where it's at. Just smack in the value zone. Better than buying up here, obviously, right? 10 points lower now. But I would consider buying Anheuser-Busch. It is back over the 30, but I want to see this close back over the 100-day average as well. So that's the plan. I will buy BUD, Budweiser, or Anheuser-Busch if it closes also back above the 100-day moving average. Bitcoin, I did not take this because I don't trade Bitcoin, but I mentioned this yesterday. We had a nice return to value and a V2, and it's up about 5% from yesterday's close, and looks like it was up 10% at one point. I seem to recall maybe somebody buying this. Maybe it was Timothy, but I cannot put GBTC on my chart, so I couldn't put it up. But yeah, when I looked at that, I was like, that's a nice V2 false breakout to the downside, and it worked well. Boeing, it's the end of the month. It's the end of the week. I have gone through and looked at my end of my week trades, end of month trades. The only one that I am even possibly considering on a weekly or on a monthly is Boeing. We had 2 months ago, we had the big up bar. Now we've come back down. We're still holding the 100-month moving average. I would feel better about it if it actually rejected it. It just kind of bounced there, but it's dovetailing with the 5 and the -1 ATR channel. If we look on the daily, it doesn't look that good. Most likely I'll just pass on this. See if I can get maybe halfway of the big up move right here at around 171, something like that. Upon further reflection, I'm not going to be interested in Boeing on the monthly. Okay, MasterCard is interesting to me. If it closes above the 200-day moving average, and only. So 317.68 is the line in the sand for me. So 317.68. So I will revisit that at the end of the day and see whether or not I want to get into MasterCard. But I like MasterCard. I like that there's a really good risk to reward ratio on this trade at the moment. Okay. Jackson says, sir, one request. Can you talk a little bit about short squeeze post-market? Yes, I will. I will for sure. All right. What else do we have on the board? Wix. It's okay. I like MasterCard better. It's, a bigger company, same risk to reward ratio as VIX, a lot more volume. If it closed above the 200, you could buy it, but I would much rather prefer MasterCard. KL, Kirkland Gold. Not really sure why this made the scanner, to be honest with you. I don't really see anything there. Snow, that's Snowflake software, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't really see anything on Snow either. CSGP up today. I mean, that's saying a lot, but I do not see a clear signal. Did not trigger a V2 yesterday. Above moving averages, MACD is positive. It's not down much today. Look at the weekly. Yeah, I don't see anything that jumps out at me. A trade should really jump out at you. Dr. Alexander Elder told me this. He said, you should be able to go through your charts very quickly and just go next, 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 next. If you're proficient at looking at a chart, right? And he said, the time you want to stop and look is if it literally jumps off of the screen at you and says, wow, look at me, right? And I know it sounds kind of simplistic, whatever, but I really took that to heart. And unless it really jumps out on the screen, unless I get a emotional reaction when if you look at art, some art, you get an emotional reaction. I get the same from looking at a particular type of chart, and that's just my nervous system telling me that there's something about this chart that I like or dislike, right? I don't see anything here on CPRT. Edit, holding the 50 as support. It's good risk to reward ratio. I'm not super thrilled about the RSI and the resistance above it here, so I would pass on that. United Airlines, big down day. Wow. This looks like a Kamal trade. It tested this previous low. Very good risk to reward. But Kamal has his own methodology, so I really can't comment on it. But this isn't the type of trade I would take. Doesn't mean it's not a good trade, but it's just something, Kamal and I have a little bit different styles. IEX, I don't see anything on IDE or IEX, not yet anyway. NAAB, ooh, it's a strong move today. But looks like it had a 520 crossover. Oh, only 162,000 shares. So just by that fact, not enough volume for me to buy. DXCM is up nicely today. Let me check DXCM real quick on ETF replay. DXCM, Dexcom. $5.20 EMA crossover. It does backtest. It does backtest well. I'm using this by permission from ETF Replay, but you can see 520 crossover on DXCM. Buy and hold returned over 3,000% using this approach. Only, it still returned 374%, which is better than nothing for sure, right? I don't think I'm going to buy it with that 200 right above me. That concerns me. Oil, well, moving back into the value zone might be interesting to buy if we can get in the value zone. Go sideways, get a V1, V2. UUP is the dollar. Don't really see anything there. GoDaddy, nice bounce off the 200, but if you're using your 200 as your stop, it's a bit chasey now. Yeah, well, let's look at the weekly. Nah, I don't like the big down week. That's concerning. Is Bud going to go over the 100 for us? Not yet. Is MasterCard going to close over the 200? Not yet. MasterCard is really the one that I'm looking at. Oh, and Coca-Cola, it's down now again. I may have to get out of Coca-Cola. I may have to pull the trigger and follow my rules. So let me cancel all my Coca-Cola orders. It looks like we're picking up some selling into the close. Maybe I'll get filled on those MasterCard puts after all, Gary. I don't think so. I have them in at 450 and the ask is 405. So I don't think so. All right. So I have to watch Coca-Cola here. 48.27. I better put a line there. Okay. 1 penny above. Amazing, huh? Silver looks good. I'm keeping. SPY. Of course, I'm buying that, holding that over the weekend. Jackson says, silver cannot be moved like GameStop. That's commodity. It's controlled by various economic, nothing against the clan, but it's better to stay grounded. I agree. But also has very good liquidity. Wink, wink. Boom. I like it, Frank. It's a buzzy kind of stock. Good liquidity. I like it. That's great. Jatin says, I exited all my longs today in profit only, planning to buy ITB again if it forms a base. Great. Teal loves birdies. Hello, Teal. Is that my friend Teal? Is that my wonderful friend Teal? Oh my gosh. What a surprise. Teal, thank you so much for being here today. Teal is a long-term friend of mine. So just a wonderful human being. She's just the best. Thank you for coming here, Teal. And that's great. Thank you. What a nice surprise. What a nice surprise. Ryan says GME now has about a 20% weighting in XRT with the 85 IV rank. Selling call spreads in XRT would be a good way to short GM by proxy. Thoughts? Way, Ryan, good to see you. I think I would really have to look at that more carefully and analyze that before I really even want to comment on that. So GME has a 20% weighting in XRT. Okay. So GME is in XRT. And so selling call spreads on XRT would be a good way to short. Yeah. Not dollar to dollar because it's only weighted 20% though, correct? Yeah, something to it. I mean, if you couldn't short Apple, shorting the Qs, you could short the Qs, and if Apple went down significantly, it would affect the Qs, but not dollar to dollar. Good point, Ryan. Jackson says, I'm buying UUP. Looks like a base formation. So that's the dollar. Yeah, it's definitely going sideways. And we will break out of that sooner or later, either to the upside or the downside. I would guess to the upside, MACD is positive. Anytime something's green, anytime something has positive MACD or green MACD, it's positive momentum. The upside, I would, have to, if I had to bet on it, I'd have to bet more that it would go up. Let's look at the weekly. Double bottom bullish divergence, very deep MACD bars over here, rally into positive MACD, lower low here with lower MACD. So yes, I mean, it's a double bottom bullish divergence. That's a bullish setup, but I don't see a formal, legitimate trigger yet to pull the trigger on that. Ryan says correct. Way less risk though. Totally way less risk, less reward too. What is Mr. GameStop doing anyway? Can't believe we're all talking about GameStop all the time. I mean, so it's up 67%. My buddy really wanted to short GameStop yesterday, and I told him you're not going to find shares to short, and he was very upset about it. He's not too upset about it now, being that it's up 67% today. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing for him because now he's very happy. Okay. So I'm going to put Bud up here just in case it's something I want to buy, and MasterCard. Keep in mind MasterCard has about 11-cent spread on there, everyone. So let me get my handy dandy little note over here. Anheuser-Busch could get there. 62.81. It's currently 62.80. Oh, I better hurry. All right, 62.81 is the price, or is the moving average. So if it closes over, I will consider it. Let me take a look at the bid-ask spread on Bud. 1 cent, that's pretty good. So I think Coca-Cola is going to hang in there for me. Oh, now that moved to 48.28. Okay. But is it over 62.81? It is not yet. MasterCard, is it over 68? It's right at 68. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of these all at the same time. So I'm probably going to have to concentrate mainly on Coca-Cola. And now MasterCard is below, right? Yes, it is below. Well, okay, this is going to be a photo finish then, for sure. Jason says, sir, I feel Bud is a little weak. I mean, if the market falls more, this can fill the gap. Yeah, but on the other hand, Jatin, it certainly could. But the confluence of these two together here are very strong confluence. It's a very high risk, low reward scenario. And that goes for any stock, that it could go down again. But right now it's below, so I'm not considering it now, right? Unless it closes back above. MasterCard looks like it's closing under currently. Coca-Cola, where's my line in the sand? Ooh, I guess I better get Coca-Cola revved up to get out and take the loss on that one, because that's my line in the sand, right? Small loss. Actually, it's probably very close to a break-even trade because I took profits above, right? And that's why I like to do that. 48, now it's 48.27. Dang, it's moving on me. MasterCard looks like it's closing under. Bud is closing under. This is going to be a tight one on Coca-Cola. So now it is under, meaning I would have to sell it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sell Coke while I have time to do it. Pretty close to a scratch trade. I'm fine with that. That is fine. Bud is not going to close over. It doesn't look like. Nope, it didn't. So we got it. We got it perfect. Oh, yeah, MasterCard didn't close over. So I did buy SPY. That's all I did. So I got out of Coke. I kept silver. I bought overnight SPY trade at, let's see where I bought it. $370.07. Oops. Oh, I got it at a good price. What happened? Something happened? $370.07. Oh, okay. $370.07. All right. Yeah, it's 370.21. Not bad. I don't know what happened there, but that's good. So I am out of Coca-Cola. Keeping silver profitable, overnight SPY, oil, of course, that's the long trade. Apple was the nice day trade. Going to get rid of MasterCard. Going to get rid of Bud. Yeah, Bud didn't trigger. So good. We got it. We got it all. And listen, I'm really grateful for this month. I've had this is the best month I've had in like the past 12 months. I was telling this to Kamal. So very grateful. Just a fantastic month. Good swing trades, great day trades. And so it's a nice way to end off the month. And, I told you at the beginning of the year, my New Year's resolution for trading was I was going to be even more persnickety. What about that, Frank? Is that a good word? I was going to be more persnickety, or even more selective with my trades than I was in 2020, and I was going to use larger position size with the more selective trades, and it's really worked out well. So something you might want to think about as well. All right, so listen, if you have any new positions for me today that you'd like me to put on the board or take off the board, this is the time to do it. Go ahead, put it in the chat, and I will get right to it. But before I do, I just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I think I do a really good job of it. I've had really good success with my clients. I've been trading for 25 years, and what I teach in my course is everything I've learned in my 25 years of experience and from all of my traders, mentors, and coaches along the way. So it's a 15-hour course, 5 sessions, 3 hours each. I know you're going to be a better trader when you're done. So if you are interested, all you need to do is send me an email. Email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do, I'll reply and say, thanks for saying hello. Let's do a Skype call. The Skype call is free. All I want to do is just talk to you, find out more about you and your trading and your goals and your challenges. And then it's a great time for you to ask me questions, specific questions about the course. And that's it. Oh, I guess I should say, the cost of the course is $1,000, but I am raising it to $1,750 starting February 16th. Just because I have so many clients and there's just not enough time in the day. It's a demand supply situation. So, if you book the sessions before February 16th, you get it for $1,000 instead of $1,750. So it's pretty good time to do it if you are interested. All right. And then lastly, before we get on to your positions, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps to build the channel. It helps to keep the channel around. It lets YouTube know that there's some good content on this channel, and it helps them promote it. So if you find this channel helpful in the past or anything today, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get on with your weekend. Okay. So let's take a look here. Yes, says popular in Asia. A spike over the weekend in SLV is not out of the question. No guarantee, of course. Of course not. Jatson says, okay, we talked about Bud. I didn't take that. Jatson got out of Apple. All right. Very nice trade on Apple, Jatson. Out of Tesla. Okay. He's cleaning house. Okay, we'll get you out of Tesla. ITB, profitable trade. Very good. Glad you sold half when the profits were there. And UUP, of course, you added, which is the dollar. Jackson says, so today was a weekly and monthly close and it had ended on a sour note. Secondly, if the dollar strengthens, market can fall more. That is true. The U.S. market does not like a strong dollar. That is totally correct, Jen. Frank says, this is first for me. I picked up a small position to Bud to celebrate NVAX. Okay, that sounds good. I liked Bud. I would have bought it too, as long as, and especially because you made such a good joke about it. All right. Good luck on that, Frank. And if it goes up on Monday, I'll join you as long as it doesn't go up too much and gets chasey. Also sold 90% of Teladoc. Okay. That's a nice lock in there. That was a beautiful trade for Frank. That was his biggest position. Sold 90%. 90%. There we go. Dan bought silver. All right, we'll put you on in silver there, Dan. Teal, what did you buy today, hon? Did you buy something? Teal is one of my best friends in the world. Thank you for coming to say hi today, Teal. Thumbs up as always. Thank you, Quad. Gary says, nice trades, Frank. Frank says, thank you, Gary. Yas says, many stops were hit today. Walmart, Twitter. Oh, you're out of Walmart. Okay, good. I'm glad. That one was getting away from you. Don't like to see that. Out of Twitter. Oh, I took that off. CHKP. CHKP. Oh, I'm sorry. I accidentally took that one off, and I still have David and Johan in there. It held up pretty well considering today. So, all right. Well, thanks for letting me know I got that back in silver. After taking some profits. What a month. Not too bad. Could have been much better if no drawdowns. Closing the books with 5% for the month. Excellent. That's a good book to close, bud. Gary says, looks like NEO closed at 57. Wonder if I will get exercised. Oh, I told you Gary had to do it dramatically right at the end of the day. Did it close exactly there? Holy smokes. Is it 15 minutes after the close on Friday that options still go, or is that just indexes, Gary? What's it doing after hours? Because I could be wrong on that. But I think indexes, there's after hours trading for 15 minutes on Friday. Right now it's 56.90 by 56.95. I would imagine that you would be. Ah, darn. Let's hope it goes up over 57 in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, says need to be either more quick in cutting positions or come up with better hedging strategies. There he goes. Sir, please discuss short squeeze. So a short squeeze, so if you short a stock, you sell first. And to get out of the stock, you have to buy. So you can look at a company and you can look at what the short position is in a company. And if it's like 50%, well, people know that in order for those people, the only way they can exit the stock is they have to buy it back. And a short squeeze is when the stock starts going up or the commodity starts going up. And sometimes it's done on purpose, like it was with GameStop. And they're guaranteed buyers. Everyone who's short, to get out of it, has to buy. So if you can get a bunch of people together and start squeezing a stock up high, it's forced buying. Does that make sense? It's forced. They have to buy. Just like if you get a margin call, you have to sell if you cannot come up with the funds to keep your percentages. So anytime there is forced selling, it's usually a good time to buy. Anytime there's forced buying, like there is on GameStop and some of these others, it's usually a good time to buy, because when they're finally out of the stock, when people have finally bought everything to get out of the trade, then where's the buying pressure going to come from? So I hope that makes sense. But a short squeeze is when a stock or commodity has a huge short position. Short positions, in order for them to get out and get flat, they have to buy back. They're forced to buy. And of course, if you short, there's no limit to how high it can go. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with shorting, especially if you're in a stock that has a high short position. Dr. Alexander Elder, he trades double bottoms, bullish divergences, and he always checks on FinViz to see what the short position is. He would he would take his double bottoms with bullish divergences, and if he was looking at two stocks with the same setup, he would pick the one with the higher short position, because if it does go up, he knows those shorts are going to have to cover. So I hope that helps. Jatson says 100%. Yeah, sir. I mean, the moment we are lazy, we get beaten up. That's true. Johan, is that it? Okay. Gary with the puts. All right. I like that trade. I tried to get that trade today as well for myself, but at a different strike price. I never got filled. Okay. So Gary is our best put spreader. So he sold March 5th, 290. It has to stay above 290 by March 5th, and he'll get $190 per contract, which is pretty good, pretty juicy, as they say. Jan said, had a great month overall, made money just by sitting in some great names. Very good. Gary says, typically the last day to trade an option is the third Friday of the expiration, but the actual expiration time is not until next day, Saturday. A public holder of an option usually must declare their notice to exercise by 5 p.m. on Friday. Is that Eastern time? Gary used to work for Charles Schwab. That's why I'm asking him. Let's go back. NIO is 56.90, so it is still under. Jadden said, "What a brilliant explanation, sir. That helps a lot." I don't know if it was brilliant. It's just what it is. So, if you're short, remember, you have to buy to get out, and that just adds fuel to the fire of people buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. And, the sky's the limit. So what this Reddit group is doing is they're targeting companies that have very, very high short positions. They gang up together like a band of thieves, marauders, and they just buy. And of course, this scares the shorts. They buy, so that adds buying to the Reddit group's buying. But eventually it falls on itself, right? Eventually, me personally, if I could short one share of game stock right here, whatever, I totally would. I actually tried today. I couldn't. Eastern time. Okay. All right. So, not a lot of positions. I have the silver trade. Good. SPY trade, it's just the overnight SPY trade. Or over weekend trade, and then oil. That's all I have at the moment. Apple's up a little after hours. Goldman Sachs up after hours. Silver's up. SPY's down. Okay. Jaden says, thank you, sir, for helping and guiding every one of us and being so kind through all the tough and best times. That's really great of you. God bless you. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you, Jaden. God bless you. I appreciate that. Very kind sentiments. You're a very nice human. I appreciate that. GameStop. There was no stop even in the name. Boom. How you like that, Frank? He's giving you a run for your money on that one. I like it. So I'm teaching tonight. I'm looking forward to that. So Lilia, if you are out there, I'm looking forward to our lesson. I've been a little under the weather, as I mentioned yesterday. So no hiking for me again today. It's wet and slushy out there and not feeling so great. And thinking about walking around with wet feet does not sound so good. So I'm going to go back to bed. I am going to go back to bed so I'm nice and rested up for the lesson. Johnson said added PSNL. PSNL. I always have a hard time putting that symbol in there. Oh, so you already had a half position, so now you have a full position, right? Is that correct? Johnson? 38.44. Okay, so you average down a little. 38.44. Good, you're in the money. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Kamal. Appreciate your friendship, bud, and appreciate everything you do for the channel. Gary says, thank you, Greg. Enjoy the weekend. Yeah, let us know Monday, Gary, what happens with your stock. Which one is it? NIO. It's 56.91 right now. Johnson says, yes, now I have a full position. Good. Dan says, great weekend. Get better, Greg. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that, bud. You're a good man, Dan. Johan says, thanks, Greg, and have a nice weekend, everyone. Thank you, Johan. Fly safe up there, my friend, okay? We never got any feedback from Mount Doji on how he was doing with his trading. Mount Doji was one of the first people when I started in this group. So I'm always grateful to Mount Doji for supporting when we were, there was two of us in here. I remember when I started the podcast, I told a friend, I'm like, I don't even know if one person's going to be here. I'd just be talking to myself for an hour. So what's the final tally on Dow Jones? Down 620. Wow, big down day. NASDAQ down 266, down 2%. What a pullback. What a pullback. I did not trust that rally yesterday. I knew it. Of course, I could have been totally wrong, right? But I'm glad I'm glad I went light on positions yesterday based on that. I have a feeling Budweiser is going to do well for Frank. And congratulations, Frank. I'm really proud of you. I really have never experienced anything like that with that kind of return. So that must be really fun. That's good way to start the weekend. Tim is here. Oh my gosh. Two of my best friends in the world, Tim and Teal, showed up to say hi today. Good to see you, Tim. Tim and I were in business together. We've done a lot of stuff. I've known him for, what is it now, Tim? 25 years at least. Thanks for coming, Tim. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Appreciate Tim and Teal. Yas says, thanks, Greg. Everyone have a nice weekend. My prayers are with you all. Thank you, Yas. I mean, how do you get a better nice guy than Yas? Right? His prayers are with us all. That's great. Frank says, what makes anyone think institution were in a GameStop? I agree, Frank. I mean, I had this conversation last night. I personally think institutions knew that the institutions that were in were going to have to cover and that there was going to be this short squeeze. And probably the institutions got in there to fuel the pump a little bit to really get things started. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that this all started organically just with the Reddit group, because if it was that easy just to run everything up, then why wouldn't people do it all the time? I feel like it was somehow orchestrated, somehow something. I remember this back in the 90s when I first started trading, because we had the Yahoo message boards, and it was similar to that. The company that I started, we were public, and there was a group that got a hold of our stock, and they ran it from $5 to $30. So, I mean, it happens, but I don't know, maybe it has to be just the right time. But I think institutions were involved. I think that institutions were front running the other institutions that were short. What do you think, Frank? Johnson says, have a nice weekend, everyone. Get well soon, Greg. Thank you, Johnson. Tim said about 25 years. That's right. Frank says, thanks, Greg. It's a good feeling. I'll bet. Johnson said, any thoughts on SWKS? SWKS. Oh my. Well, my thoughts on it, Johnson, are it's a very bearish bar. Yes, it was up 6.33% today, but you see how the close was above the open? That means there was all sorts of sellers in here. In this crazy market, yeah, it could go back up, but people sold the open right away. That was it. That was the high. If I was in this stock, I would have gotten out. I would not think about getting back in this stock unless we got to the value zone. We started consolidating. In other words, we started moving sideways. Really, my first thought when I saw this was, I'd probably buy it down here. But if I was in this stock, I would get out. I would not consider that a good price. Very likely, I think there's some follow through on this. It went all the way back. It went all the way and came back down. Potential to short. I wouldn't short it here either, Johnson. I wouldn't short it here either. Because you are coming back down in the support. I would just not mess with this. I mean, yeah, maybe it comes down one more day. But here's the thing. People that shorted up here, once it comes into the value zone, they'll go, okay, this is a good price to get out of. They will buy. That will create buying pressure, just like we talked about. People that miss this move when it comes down into the value zone, they will probably buy out. There will be buyers there. That's two groups of buyers. That's why usually if you come from a higher high down into the value zone, a lot of times you do bounce, but then you head back down after. That's why the sideways motion is so important. But no, I would not short this here now that we're coming back down into support. Frank says, I agree 100%. Oh, good. Yeah. I think some institutions were front running the other institutions and they primed the pump. I think that's what happened. What's going on with out 5692 on NIO? Buff 2105, 2104. All right, listen, I'm going to leave you off with this, everybody. I like to mention this each day, and I found this graphic that really kind of sums it up. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction, by Martin Kornfield. And I say this every day. Please try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just one nice thing, just a smile, a wave, give them a hand, just be pleasant. It will make them feel good. It will make you feel good. And if you could also go out and do something nice for an animal that you might come across, they would appreciate it too. One nice thing for a human, one nice thing for an animal will make both of their days, and it will good karma and will make you feel good as well. So, if we all did that every day, the world would be a better place. And, when I think about Teal and when I think about Tim, those are two of my favorite people in the world because this is how they live their life. They help people out. They're nice to people. They give them a hand. So that's why I love Tim and Wendy, his wife, and my really good friend Teal. Tim, what made you decide to check on in here today? I'm so glad. And Teal, what about you? I don't know if Teal's still there, but what a surprise. What a nice surprise. All right, so SPY, it's 370.14. So I imagine Gary and Steve kept their puts that they bought. They are in the money. They have intrinsic value. 375 was a strike price. It's at 370, so they're in the money about $5 minus the time from the day before. So, but I would imagine they're in the money. I would definitely imagine they're in the money. And let's see, we got everyone taken care of, right? Steve, oh yeah, Steve's out of MasterCard, but Gary has the Gary has the put spreads. He sold 290. Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions? Any other jokes? Anything? Tim says, I have the day off and can listen. Oh, good. I'm glad, bud. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for today. Thank you for coming, everyone. I hope you have a nice weekend. Again, go out, do something nice for an animal and human. Study your charts, maybe read a good trading book, read of any of Steve Burns' books. They're all fantastic. You know that. They're all available on Amazon. Go check out his website, newtraderu.com. Great content, great free information, great e-courses on there that you can take, all sorts of great stuff. All right, and if you could hit the thumbs up button, if you could remember before you click out of here, I would really appreciate that. So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer on the way out, shut everything down, and I'm going to go to bed and try to get some rest before my lesson tonight. Frank says, feel better. Thanks, bud. And congratulations, Frank, on your NVAX trade. That is fantastic, buddy. Proud of you, happy for you. I'm going to live vicariously through you on a trade like that, okay? And thanks for all the great poems, Frank, as always, okay? Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Get some rest. And God willing, I will see everybody this coming Monday, hopefully. Take care. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.